Hello.
Hello everyone. Kindly confirm if I'm audible. Okay, am I audible, guys? So there was certain issue because of which training got delayed, right? And apart from that, we'll have to wind up the training by 10, right? For today and tomorrow because there's some maintenance work going on the server, right? So supposedly on the LMS, certain maintenance work is going on, right? So we'll be wrapping up our session today and tomorrow at 10 p.m. 10 a.m. IST. Okay, so you might be getting a mail from the support team also for the same. So we were working on data types. Like this, now the data types that we had worked on was integer. Okay, we have seen integer. Second was your float. Third, complex. Fourth, boolean. Fifth that we were working on is string. Right, we continue from the string. So your integer is simple. Your floats are decimal values. Complex numbers are your complex number. Booleans are your true and false, right? And strings are basically anything that comes under the double quotes or single quotes. Okay, guys, anybody facing any issue or anybody facing an issue with voice or with screen, kindly let me know. Okay, so let me confirm once again. Guys, you are able to hear me properly, right? Okay, in that case, thank you, Sai. In that case, guys, kindly check your bandwidth. Let me drop a few messages. Uh, okay, so string is what we are working with. So you can create string with the help of single quotes, or you can create string with the help of double quotes. Right. So there's no difference between single quote and double quote. Okay. They both are same. Correct. So let's see. Let's continue from there. From string. So let's say I have a string s1 equals to say 12 quotes. Hello. Now to actually see what is see s1 is what. Okay. Okay. Now it's working now, right? So if you want to see what is S1, first of all, S1 is what we call variable or your pointers. So it depends on you what you want to call, but actually in reality it is pointer, right? So if you want to fetch what is associated with S1, you'll have to call the S1, right? And you'll get. If you want to find out the type of this variable that we have created, you have to call the method called type, and it will give you a type of string. Okay. Now, if there's one more part or one more function. I'll tell you the difference between function and method, right? Not right now though. You just understand that there is anything or everything that I represent with the help of parentheses open and close is what we call function, right? Say for example, the function that I'm going to tell you about is this. So this is a name, print, and as you can understand that print is for printing something, right? And then you have parentheses open and close. So this is what we call function. Okay, this is how we represent function. Functions have a special functionality, as the name suggests. Right now, this function has a special functionality which is to print or to show you things. Whatever things you pass inside this, it is going to show you those things. Right. So here I want it to show me the S1. Sorry. Okay. Now you'll ask me why not? What is the difference between simply writing S1? It is also giving me hello, and when I write print S1, it is also giving me hello. So what is the difference between them? Okay. First of all, when you're writing code here, which is basically your batch script mode, and if I write S1, it's not going to return me anything. If I want to see the output of any calculation or anything, right, I'll have to write print. Print is going to give me an output. Nothing else is going to give me an output, okay? Which I can see, right? So here on your intonation or basically your interpretation or interpreted mode, you can write, you can call the variables and variables value you can see, but here on batch script mode, you cannot do this. So we'll see this, right? When we'll be working with loops and the control structures, you'll understand that, okay? So print is another very important function, guys, that you have to remember, right? And it's going to be used a lot, or it is used a lot in Python. Okay? Print is something that is used a lot in Java, in C, C++, C Sharp, every language. We have this print function or method or statement, right? But print is there. Now, another concept that we were talking about is the indexing, right? In string also, or in string, you have indexing, okay? Now, it's a very simple concept, right? Where we are doing nothing. Say if I write hello or weather, right? So what it does is basically what is happening is whenever I write weather, right? Let's say that s2 equals to weather. Okay. So if I have s3 equals to weather, what's it going to give me? It's going to give me error. Why? Because it is not. See, out of five data types, if you look at the five data types, it's neither an integer, it's not in float, it's not a complex, it's not a boolean, certainly it's not a string. So it is giving me an error. So you'll have to put it under the double quotes. Okay, so you have s2. Okay, it's a weather. So it does not matter how many times you print s2, you are always going to get the order in which the characters which are appearing in weather to be fixed. Right, this order is going to be fixed. And this is what we called, or this is what is utilized in Python with the concept of indexing. Screen not showing. Guys, are you able to see my screen moving? Okay, Milind, kindly check your net speed once. Okay. See, guys. Okay. Let me tell you again that what happens is if I have a bandwidth issue, right, then every one of you will face the issue, right? Obviously, because I don't have a proper internet. If in that case, everybody is going to face the issue, right? And if I have a good bandwidth or internet speed, and you guys, any one of you don't have good bandwidth or internet speed, you are going to face the issue, right? Okay. So that is how I differentiate between if I have an issue or regarding the bandwidth, or you have the issue. Okay. Now, coming back to this, so what Python does is Python has assigned a fixed value. See, these positions are not going to change. So what Python has done is the first character which is appearing, we also call it as an element, right? These are the elements, right? This is how this is a technical term that we prefer to use, elements. So the first element, second element, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, right? How many elements are there? There are 7 elements in this string. So all these elements will have a fixed position and will have a fixed value that will be assigned by Python, which we call index, right? So index value of W, which is appearing in the first position, will be 0, and it will keep on ascending like this, right? So W will have a position index 0, E will have index 1, A will have index 2, and so on, right? So the elements, so basically number of elements in a string is, let's say, is 7, right? Okay. Okay, the total number of elements in a string is 7, right? Okay. Now, if you want to find out the index of nth element, then what will be the index of an nth element? Index of nth element will be n minus 1. Okay, always remember this. See, for example, the first position, this is the first element, has index 0, right? Second element has index 1. So how is it working? So n is the number of the element, E is element 2, it will have index 2 minus 1, that is 1. Okay, always remember this. Okay, so index of nth element. Now the term index is what we are going to use, or an element is what we are going to use again and again in the data structure also. So you can understand this. Index of nth element is going to be n minus 1. Okay, and if you want to call, or if you want to fetch a particular element, fetching n element, you can call it. How are you going to fetch that element? Let's say that this is the string, right? S equals to weather. So the way of fetching an element, or fetching an nth element, you'll have to call it like this: S n minus 1. Okay, understand this? So if I want to fetch the second element, right? That is E. Second element E will have index 2 minus 1, 1, and this is how I'm going to represent it programmatically. Okay. Let's see this. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste this so that you can have a look at this. So you have S2, right? Okay, try it out, guys. So try fetching the or getting T and R. Okay, do a little task. Basically, get or use or to show the um, T and R using indexing. Try it out. How are you going to do that? So it's quite easy, right? Okay, I've only got answer from Dave. Anybody else who's trying? Okay, see here. So you know this is S2. So I want to fetch what? Uh, the first thing I want to fetch is T, right? So count where T is, which element T is. 1, 2, 3, 4. So T is fourth element. right? So index of fourth element will be 4 minus 1, 3. This is how you are going to fetch it. Okay. So it's kind of work like key value pair, right? That is, I think I have explained to you this. Let me show you again. So basically, guys, it works like a key value pair. Okay. You can assume it as key value pair where you have a fixed key, which is what we call index. And whenever we call a key, right, it fetches the value. Okay, let's call these key. Okay, that's strange. Okay, so you have key value. Okay, now what we are applying this on, s equals to weather, right? So your weather is going to look like this: W E A T H E R. So each and see, guys, understand this: in a string, each and every character is considered as an individual element. Okay, so that means that you can further manipulate string, right? Okay, you can further take the advantage of the characters inside a string, right? Or you can call it as a substring or characters or elements. It's totally up to you. Right? The term that I'll prefer using is element. Right? So index is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? So when you call a key, it is going to fetch you the value. So when I call the key, it's going to fetch me associated value always. Right? This is how programming languages basically work. You call the key, you and uh, you will get in response the value associated with that key. Right? So almost all the programming languages work like this only. Okay, see this. So here the only thing is that we are not in control of defining these keys, right? Python have already defined these keys. Why? Because Python knows that the position of the characters inside the string is never going to change, because it's going to, if it changes, then it will be a disaster, right? Your weather will become Deve or something like this, right? Okay, which is not required, or which is not intended what we wanted. Okay. Now, the next concept that we have. Okay, guys, understood? Now, let's see a few more things on this, then we'll move to the next concept. Similarly, okay, let me clear this. Okay, so you have S2, weather. So you can call all these, like zero, you can see what is zero, you can see what is at one. Okay, so how many, okay, you can also find out how long is this string by simply calling a function called len, which basically means length. Okay, len function is quite useful if you don't know the length of the say particular string. Okay, for example, okay, so I'm going to copy one of the text from here. Say that I have string s3 equals to, just a sec. Okay, just a sec, guys. Okay, I'll do it again. this is your string, right? And you have S3, and I don't know the length of S3, right? And I want to know. So I can get the length by simply passing S3 to the function which is called length. So the total length of the string is 228, right? So that means that there are 228 characters. Now guys, whenever you talk about strings, Python considers each and every thing which comes under a course as a part or as an element or as a character. So even when you write say S4 equals to say hi there, right? So if you count this, what do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Ideally it should have 7 elements, right? Okay, let's find the length, but the length is 8. Why? Because Python also counts these things, right? So whatever is coming inside the double quotes or single quotes, whether it is a special character, whether it is a back or a space, Python consider all of it as the element, right? That's why instead of calling them characters, I prefer calling them elements. So empty space is also an element, guys, right? And what is the index of this empty space element? What is the um, index? Or basically what is the number of uh, position? First, second, third. Index will be 2, right? So if you try S4 2, it's going to give you nothing or just an empty space, right? Because that is what is there. Okay, so this is how you basically you can find out the length, and you can understand that okay, empty spaces are also considered as part of are also considered as an element when it comes under double quotes or single quotes. Okay, understood this? So it's a very simple but sometimes concept, but sometimes it becomes confusing. So I'm going to clear this. Okay, see this guys, so that I can clear it and we can move forward. Okay, I'm going to clear this guys. Now, next, very important, or you can say that very interesting part, which comes with the indexing. Okay, before moving forward, there are a few more things I'm going to tell. Right, what if, see, R is, what is the index or what is the number or number of R, right? Is it first element, second element, third element, which element, right? That I can find out. That means that R is seventh element, right? Seventh element will have index 6. So if I do like this, it's going to fetch me R. What if I call for something which is not there? What if I call for eighth element, which will have index 7? What is going to happen, guys? See, I'm calling index 7. That means that I'm looking for element which is at the position 8. It's not there. No, Dave, it's not going to be considered as a garbage value. So that is the interesting point. It's going to throw you an error, index error, that is string index out of range. Okay. See, later on when we'll be talking about handling error exceptions, then we'll be looking at how to tackle this error. Right. But for now, understand this, that your Python does not know about the eighth element because it's not there. That's why your Python has returned you back an error stating that there's nothing like index 7, right? Because there's no eighth element, right? That is what Python is telling you. Okay, so that is one of the thing. So never call an element which is not there, right? It's going to give you a error, right? Now this things happens when you are coding, and when you're coding, and in a way a lot of times we have such little issues that we face, that okay, we called see, not only in string, right? Indexing occurs in a lot of different structure, right? We are going to see those structures, data structures that we call, right? So at that time, you get a lot of such issues, right? Okay, so it's good to understand these things. Now, next thing that uh, Python supports, right? So in string, you have concept of indexing, and string you also have uh, concept of reverse indexing. Okay, so when I say reverse indexing, what I mean by that is that now these positions, it's kind of a circular structure, right? I can start from 0 here, or I can start from -1 from here, right? See, if you go from 0 to -1, you'll come here. -2, you'll come here. -3, you'll come here, and so on. Okay, try it out. So if I do s2 -1, it's going to show me r. Okay, that is the last element which is there in the string. Now it is very much useful. Reverse indexing, guys, is very much useful. Can you tell me the scenario under which it can be highly useful for us? Any scenario, guys, where you can think that, okay, reverse indexing might be very much useful for us while coding? Yes, if you do not know the length and want to access the last character, perfect. Yes, so Dave is saying that if you don't know the length of the string and you want to access the last element, then you can use, or last character, then you can use reverse indexing, that is -1. Apart from that, one of the very much a scenario where we use this very much is, say you have a lot of data coming in, right? Say you are saving that data in a form of string, right? So all the data will be appended at the end of the string. When I say appended, that means that added. So if you want to get the latest data, instead of looping through the complete string, what you have to do is simply have to call reverse. You simply have to do reverse indexing, and you'll get the latest data that is being added to the string. Okay, so that is one of the scenario that where you can use it. Okay, so all the data that is coming will be added at the end of the string, right? So if you never had reverse indexing, then how would you have handled that? Yes, Kuntal, do one thing. Okay, okay. So kill all the unnecessary processes. Okay, especially go to the ms config, and that might help you a lot. Okay. Okay. No worries. So guys, a lot of times, see, Anaconda has one of the very big flaws that consumes a lot of RAM, right? So you'll have to RAM and processing. It will consume a lot of processing. So kindly manage your processing accordingly. Kill unwanted processes, right? Okay. So that is your indexing. Apart from that, there is one more concept which is quite useful. Okay, guys. So I have this. Now, what if I wanted? See, this is a string, right? It's good. I can get single element at a time. That's very good, right? See, think from the perspective of you as a designer, right? Say you are the designer of Python, so and you want to see what you can do with the strings. So you were able to print the string. You were able to create the string. That's good. You were able to get one element at a time. That's amazing. Now, next thing that I, being a designer, would want to do is I would like to uh, get a words out of this string, or a string, or a series of characters out of this string. That is something that I would want to do. Like this. Okay. So I would want to slice the string in a way that I want. Right. So another, or the next concept that we have in string is what we call slicing. That means that if you have a particular, if you want to take out a particular chunk from the string, you can do that. Okay. Now, how does your slicing work? Okay, see here. How does your slicing work? Let me show you. Let's say that you want to get the from the string, this weather. Okay. So what is the index of t, guys? Tell me, index of t? T is fourth element, index will be 3, right? And we want what? The. What is the index of e? E is your sixth element, it will have. Right now, Dave, here it means continuous string taking out. If you want a different parts, you have to do multiple slicing and then concatenating. Okay. So index of E will be 5. Okay. Now, what you want is you want complete THE. So your slicing will start from T and end at R. Okay. Remember this. Your slicing will start from T, representation, right? And it will end at R. Okay. When I say that it ends at R, that means that it is going to take everything before R. Okay. Let's see. So the how do you represent slicing? S2 square bracket open close, and it's going to start at T, like T has an index 3, and it's going till now. The symbol that we use for slicing is colon, right? And it's going to end at R, right? So it is going to take elements 3, 4, 5, but not element 6. Okay, so this is going to take elements on the index 3, 4, and 5, but not on 6. So 6 is the upper limit, which will not be included in this. Okay, and you'll get THE. Okay, see this? So basically, it works like this. Say want to slice a string and include element at index n. Starting with element at index m and including element at index n. Right. Let's say that you want to slice a string and which is going to be starting from element which is at index m, and we should end at index n. Right. So how are you going to write this? S m colon n plus 1. Okay, always. So your index, you want to slice from m, element at index m, and you want to slice till the or take the element at index n, then you have to slice till n plus 1 always. Okay. Okay, try slicing out WE, guys. Tell me what you understand from that. Yes. Okay, any confusion, any doubt here, guys? See, the reason I'm showing you like this is because so that you can have a generalized formula. Yes, exactly, Dharmesh. So it will work like this. You'll have S2. I want to start with V, which has index 0, and I want to take E, which has index 1. So I'll have to go 1 plus. So that will be 2. Exactly, guys. So it's quite easy, right? See, I can write it like this, or I can write it like this. It will be same. Okay, you can do it like this. It will be same. Okay. Okay. That means that if I'm not giving any starting index, right, that means that start from the very start. Okay. Now same thing goes other way around. If I don't give the ending index, like say if I give the starting index, let's say that randomly I'm giving the index, and I don't give the ending index, it's going to take everything till the end. Okay. So we now define the endpoint. Okay. Check this out. Okay. Check this out. Okay. So I'm going to clear this. Okay, there's something that someone had asked how to reverse an string, right? So this is your string. If you want to reverse the string, um, you do it like this. This is S3. If I want to reverse the S3, yes, that is the next point, Dave, I'm going to come to. Okay, so if you want to reverse a string, see, obviously, if you want to reverse a string, you'll have to start with -1, right? So you know that double colon, what it's going to do is it's going to basically reverse and print, or it's going to print everything from where you had asked for. Say, for example, right? No. Okay, right now simply understand this, see this, right? I'll tell you the concept when we'll be talking about steps, right? And start and end points, right? So for now, simply see that this is how you reverse the index, or reverse the string with the upper indexing. Yes, that is what we wanted, right? Reversing the index is, it is printing it in reverse. No, no, no. Okay, so if you call s2 again, it won't do it. So what you'll have to do is you'll have to create a new variable, and then in that new variable, you'll have to assign this. Then you'll have s3 and s2. Okay, so guys, always remember, see, there's one more concept which we call immutability. Now, your strings are immutable. Okay, remember this term. Okay, what does now immutable means? That means that you can never change the inside structure of a string. Okay, now see, normally if I'm able to call any of an index, right, ideally you should be able to change its value from say e to, say I want to change it to f, but you cannot do that. We cannot do that, right? Why? Because strings are immutable. Okay, or in short you can say that you cannot change the structure of a string. Okay, side structure of string. So strings are immutable. Okay, so if you want to change anything, then what you'll have to do, likewise, where here I have done the same thing. I created a new string, and you have to do all the changes in the new string. You cannot change the same string or the same variable. Basically, you'll have to create a new variable. No, Dave. See, you can, but that changes will not be saved in the old variable, right? So to change or to make the changes come into effect, you'll have to create a new variable, but you cannot do it in the same variable. Okay, Python does not allow that. That is concept of immutability or immutable. Okay, basically can't change the structure, right? When I say can't change the structure of a string, whether will they mean whether, it won't be THEWEA, right? It cannot, you cannot change the elements inside the string. It is going to be same, right? And these are the basic things about string. Apart from that, concatenation, right? So you can use plus sign to perform concatenation. Okay, so I have s2, I have s1, so I can do s1 plus s2. So it becomes what? Hello weather, without any space. Okay, similarly I can have repetition, s1 into 2 is going to repeat hello twice. I can have sc into 5 is going to repeat s1 5 times. Okay, so that is your repetition. So string supports concatenation. Okay, check this. Alright guys, let me give you a task just to make sure that you guys understood this concept. Okay, the task is, okay, you have a string, say s1 equals to uh, hello everyone, how are you doing? How is the weather there? Right, now I want you to get the result like this. the weather, uh, the weather, everyone doing hello, right? So this is what you have to print. This is your string. Right? Try it out. So guys, it involves almost what? Um, it involves your slicing of the string, right? And it involves concatenation of different parts that you have sliced. So you'll have to create new variables here. Try it out. It's a small exercise. This is what you have to print, guys, right? From this string. Okay. Try printing this. The weather, everyone doing hello. Okay. Okay. So this is your string. You can print it. Okay. So guys, what you should be doing, you should be creating different variables. See, the weather comes together. Actually, you should be creating one variable which could where you can save the weather. You should be creating another variable where you can save everyone. Then you should be creating another variable where you can save doing. Then you should be creating another variable where you can save hello. And after that, you have to concatenate them, and then you'll have to find a way to fill in the this spaces. Okay, try it out. So it's raining a lot in different parts of India, right? I hope you understood the concept, guys. This is going to consolidate what you have learned regarding string till now. Let me check. Yes, Neesh, kindly unmute yourself. You have raised your hand. No worries. No, don't have to be sorry. Um, okay, so Exactly. Yes, you're going on the right path. Yes, Ramesh, you're doing the correct thing. Yes, that is what you want. You can name it as A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Right? You don't have to name it as always S. The reason I name it SS is because S for me is string. Right? So you'll see in my example S1, S2, S3, S4, S5. Right? So that is more of a contextual naming. Right? You can for this particular task you can name it as A, B, C. Right? Or it's up to you. Okay, variable naming. Okay. Till now, I have not explained you how to name the variables and how to do those things. Right? I'll explain you those also. How to name a method, how to name a not a method, how to name a method, how to. I'll be creating our own methods and all, right? Yes, Neeraj, please. Sure. Kindly raise your hand. See, as soon as you raise your hand, your name pops up on the top of the list, and it's easy for me to find. Otherwise, yes, Neeraj, kindly unmute yourself.
So my question is, here we have a long string, or you can say a complete sentence,
Yeah.
and in that case, we have to remember each and every element position. Well, it's difficult if we have a long string or a long
Yes.
sentence, then difficult to remember each and every element's position, right?
Yes. Yes. It is.
So then here, how we can find the position of a particular element,
See,
which is
first thing that you can do is you can have a loop, right, where you can iterate through the complete string. That's one of the thing. Second is there is a built-in function that you can use, a built-in method basically that you can use, but that built-in method has limitations. Okay, let me show you that method. Okay, first let's see the example, and after that I'll show you the method. Okay.
uh, uh,
Okay. Yes, Milin, I'm going to show you that. Yes, Swati, you're doing it correctly. Okay, let's see, guys, how we should be doing this. So you want to print the weather. Right. So first thing, guys. Okay. The exact correct thing is, uh, you see, T is occurring the first time here. Right. So T is occurring the first time here. So I can write this is S1 dot index T. Okay. That is the first thing. Okay. So if you don't want to count, right? See, counting becomes tough. You don't want to count. So what you can do is you can find the index of T. Right. So this is how you find it. So this is the variable, and this is the method associated with string. Now this is a method. This is not a function. Okay. Okay. So I found the index of T. I can make sure that it's the right index. I can similarly do S142 should print me T. Now this is the T. This one. Now this method, guys, index is going to show you those. See, there are what? How many T's are there? One and two T's are there, right? Okay. Now this method is only going to show me the first occurrence of T, not the second, not the third, not the fourth. No, it's going to show me the first occurrence of T. So that is I know that okay, T is occurring at the first time here. Okay. Apart from that, if you want to count the times a particular element is occurring, so you can also count the number of times T is occurring in your string, and this is how you do it. Okay, so your T is occurring once, twice, and thrice. Okay, so these two methods um, you can write it down. Right, these are useful. Okay, So that kind of solves a lot of very big issue that, okay, how many, see my sentence which I have to create starts with T. How many times T is occurring, which T I want, right? I want the first T, so that I can easily find from here. But if we had to start from there, in that case, this method would have failed us. Why? Because it's only going to show us the first occurrence of T, right? So that is one of the flaw of this method, which is index. Okay. Okay. So understand the difference between function and method before moving forward. Let me give you a small detail. Okay, my bad. So this print, which and len, right? We did what int. We have seen float. Now these are occurring independently, right? These are what we call functions. These are occurring independently, right? For now, understand this: whatever things which are occurring independently is what we call functions. Now, just now what we saw, right, is s1 dot index. We saw s1 dot count. These are occurring, or these are dependent on the variable, right? Or basically these are dependent on the class, you can say that, right? We have not talked about object oriented, so let's not talk about the class for now. But these see these both look same, right? Print has parentheses open close, index also has parentheses open close, but the only difference is that print exists, or we can call print independently, right? Whereas index and count, you cannot call them independently. They are dependent on the variable that you have created, right? And the type of variable that you have created, that is string. So these are what we call methods here. Okay, for now just understand this. So all these names with parentheses open and close occurring independently is what we call function, and all these names which has parentheses open and close which are occurring with the help of the object is what we call method. Now, whenever you want to call a method, you have to call it with the name of the variable, or variable dot method, right? Because see, this is specific. See, the reason we are using dot is because it is specific to the data type, which is string, right? So s1 dot index is specific to string, right? Index is specific to string. That is why we call string dot index, right? So when we call s1 dot index, we are calling string dot index. Whereas your function can be applied to all the data types. Right? They are not dependent on a single data type. No, they are applicable to all the data types. Okay, so that is the difference between, for now, method and function. Okay, we'll get more clarity when we'll be working with creation of your own method. Right, at that time I'll be giving you more clarity on this. For now, just see this. Okay, now coming back to this, what we want is the weather. So the index, see, did you understand this two methods? Index is going to give me index of t in s1, which is basically the string, and it's going to give me the first occurrence of t, which is occurring at this position. Okay, and the index of this first occurrence of t is 42. That is what I got. Now the second method that I'm showing you is the count. It's going to count what? How many times t is occurring, right? You can similarly count other things also. Say for example, I want to count how many times. See, e are a lot here, right? How many count times, or how many number of e's are there in my string? I can do that. So you have 10 e's in the string, right? Okay. So this is how basically your count and index going to work. Okay. Now let me clear this, and let me show this again. Right. Let me see s1 dot. index t. Now guys, what I want is the weather. Right? So I'll have S1 starting from 42, right? Okay, 42 is the index, right? So this is 42. It's going to be 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. Right, so I'll have to go give 52 plus 1. That will be my 53. So you got the weather, right? So you got the first part, which is this, like this. So I'm going to save it in a particular variable. Let's say that I'm going to save it in A. Okay, so I got the weather. So my A is sorted. Ramesh, that is for index. N minus 1 is for index. N plus 1 is for slicing. Okay, so if you want to find out the index, then element minus 1 is the index of that particular element. If you want to do the slicing, then you take one more element uh, for the slicing. Okay. Now next, what do you want? You want everyone. Okay. Let's check. The print function, Dave, is basically for showing it to the user, right? If you want to you want your program to print something as an output to the users or to a console, right? Then you use the print function. Okay. See, we are simply calling the variable. We are not printing it. Right? We are simply calling the variables. A is a variable that we created where we saved the one of the uh, slice part. Right? The second one is what we want is everyone. Okay, can you tell me what is going to be the index of it? So it is the second occurrence of E, right? So I cannot find it with the help of index. Index is going to give me the first occurrence of E, but still we can try, right? S1 dot index of E. So it is giving me the first occurrence. So I can simply count, right? H 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Element is 8 minus 1, 7. So I'll have S1, 7, and then I have to slice it. So it will be element index 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Index will be 14, and I'll have to go one higher, 15. So that is going to give me, okay, everyone. Okay, I gave a wrong index. So what is going to be 6 and 14. Okay, so you can check this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is the element, so index will be 6. Right. So let's save it and B. So you got B, which is everyone. Now what we want, doing hello. Yes, Dave. In that case, indexing is not going to work if you have more strings starting or substrings starting with E or T. In that case, see, that's why indexing is one of the way to find out the index of a particular element. Or another thing that you can do is you can loop through it. You can iterate through it. Right? Iterator will be the best option, which is basically a for loop. Okay. Yes. Otherwise, it's a bit manual. Now, next thing that you need to find out is doing. How are you going to find out doing, guys? What is the occurrence of do? D, not do. Uh, Tell me, D is occurring for the first time, so you can find out the index of D. S1 dot index D. That is 28. Right? 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. I can have 28 till 32 or 33. Okay, so that is going to be my C, 28 till 33. Okay, so I have A, I have B, I have C. Next thing I want is hello. What is hello? Okay, hello is easy, right? You can check the occurrence of O, S1 dot index of O. Okay, I printed 0, it's O, right? So I'll have it like this, S1 uh, till 5th index. I got hello. Let's save it in D. D equals to S1. Either you can write starting from 0 till 5, or you can have nothing till 5, right? Now you got everything. Okay, now I simply have to concatenate it, AB plus C plus D. Now guys, you'll see that concatenation is working, right? I'm getting the weather very the weather everyone doing hello. But what are the spaces, right? In that case, guys, you'll have to include empty spaces like this: A plus B plus C plus plus D. Okay, okay. Now, is it going to solve my problem? Nope. It's not going to solve your problem. Why? Because there is no space we gave here, so you'll have to give this space. Okay, easy, right? Check this out, guys. Okay. So it's kind of a tedious, but it should solve, or it should give you a lot of clarity. Is there a method to compare two strings? Not of any method I know, but again, the for loop is the best way of comparing, or basically looping through it and comparing is the best way. Right? Inbuilt methods are to for the simple task. Right? Okay. I don't think so. There is a method to compare two strings. Okay. Nope. I'll check, but I don't think there's a method for that. Yes. Okay. Got it, guys. So it's quite simple. Okay. If you want me, I can share all the parts. Just give me a sec. I'm sharing all the parts, guys. So you have A. Okay. I'm writing it down here, guys, so that you can check. A is here. B is here. C is here. D. And finally, you have this. Okay, so you can check it out, guys. See this? Okay, try it out, and then I'll tell you some of the methods and functions associated with them. Okay. Now, there's one more very okay. It's less about Dave comparing. It's more about finding something. Okay. So there's one more thing that we use, which is very much helpful in that, is what we call membership operator. Okay. Let's say that you have a huge string. Um, um, Let me search something for Python. Let's say that you have this string, guys, right? You can also have it. Okay, and let's create a string. Okay, let's say that is something. Right? It's up to you. Okay, so you have this string s12. Right now, I want to find out if a particular. See, this is how you can basically find out if something is inside it or not. If I want to find out if something is inside this string or not, some particular word I want to find out, if some particular combination I want to find out. Let's say that I want to find out if Vidhan as a word is inside this string or not. How I'm going to do that? Like I'm going to use a membership operator. I'm simply going to write is Vidhan in S12. Now it is going to give me the answer as true or false. No, Vidhan is not inside the S12. So Vidhan is a string, right? It's not inside S12. So in is basically the operator, and this is what we call membership operator. So you can find out if Python in S12, so Python is not there. Is Python with capital P inside it? So yes, it is there, right? Okay. So this is your membership operator that we use in Python, right? Okay, it's quite useful. It quite useful. Can you imagine the use case that you can create with this, guys? Can you imagine the use case? Keyword search, yes, you can do that. Spam filtering, you can do that, right? Yes, you can do the spam filtering. Yes, you can find any name from the big list. One of the best use case you can create using this is spam filtering. So you can have a if see spams are what? These are particular words. So how do you how your emailers basically define if a particular email is spam. Right? They use a lot of machine learning nowadays and AI, especially machine learning and algorithms. But the simplest one that you can create is you can read through the complete mail, right? And then you can check from a certain set of words, right? Spam mails have a particular set of words that you consider as spam words, and you can check if, uh, say, spam in this text, right? If it is there, if the answer is true, you can put it into a spam folder. Uh, Answer is false, you can continue working with this. So it's more of a if and else combined with the reading of a file. Okay, we can do that, right? You can all jot it down as a task that we can do in the future, like in the coming lectures when I'll teach you a few of the things. Yes. So this is one of the tasks that you can jot it down so that we can do it in the future. Uh, that is creating a spam filter. Okay, please jot it down and do remind me. We'll work on this. Okay, this is simple examples when we'll be reading all those things. How do you use true and false output? For that, you'll have to put it in a simple. How do you use true and false output? Let me show you a bit. If say Vidhan in S12, right? I can do like this. I have S12 equals true. Then I can ask to do something. Right. If Vidhan in S12, you will get a true and you can do something. Else, you can do something else, obviously. Right. So this is how you can use it. Python in S12 and S12 dot. Okay, let me write this. S12 dot. Talking about this, right? Okay. Double underscore contains. See, double underscore basically are your special attributes, right? Okay. There's not much difference in this. But anything which starts with double underscore and ends with double underscore are your special attributes, you can say that, or special variables which are already stored in Python, right? Okay. So no, it's not doing anything different actually. It's doing the same thing, Deepak. Okay. The only thing is that now you are using, instead of membership operator, you're using this special attributes that you have in Python. Right, so we have different attributes like name, main, contain. Right, there are a lot of different attributes. Okay, for now, let's not get into these attributes. But yes, they both are same actually in this context. Right, what we are doing right now, and different way of calling it. That's the only difference. Good, guys. Okay, there are a few of the methods. Let me open the slideshow. Yeah. See, these are the basically methods and functions that you can use on string. Try it out. See, count we have used, index we have used. Now you can use capitalize, you can use find, you can use is alpha, is alpha numeric basically, is digit, is a space there. Length is a function, not a method. Right? So I have See, the reason I have combined both method and function so that you can differentiate between method and function. Right? You have lower, upper, you have replace. Right? Try them out, guys. Try all of these methods. See, a lot of them are method and some are your functions. Okay, let me show you one of the examples. For example, capitalize. So you have S1. Okay, let's see S2. Okay, you have S2, S2 dot. Okay, see, you write S2. See, whenever you are calling a method. Okay, one more thing, guys. Let me tell you. Let me open this. So you have functions. Okay, and you have methods, right? So method is more associated with the concept of objects, right? Method is associated more with concepts of objects and classes, right? So you can understand one thing that, okay, let me tell you one different perspective that all your data types are basically classes in Python, okay? All your data types are basically classes in Python. That means that your string is a class, your integer is a class, your float is a class, your boolean is a class, your complex is a class, right? Now, what is a class? What is an object? Okay, let me explain you something here. Object-oriented programming is a way of analyzing thing and representing thing. You can say that it's one of the way in which you can analyze uh, different things, right? Okay, and then you can represent it in a way as an object. Now, the core concept behind object-oriented programming is that you consider everything that you see in the world as an object, right? Okay, you consider everything as an object. Say, for example, we all are object, right? So object-oriented programming objectifies everything, right? That's which is morally not good in real life, but it works very well with the programming languages, right? So say, for example, Vidhan is an object. So all are you an object? No, all of us which are an object belongs to a certain species, right? We call it, which is called Homo sapien. Under Homo sapien, which is basically humans, comes Vidhan and all other things. So Homo sapien is a species, or you can say that human is the class, Homo sapien or human, whatever you want to call it. So the class is human, and with the human class, you can, right now we have what, around 8 billion humans. You can have 9 billion humans, you can have 10 billion humans. So with a single class, which is human, you can have indefinite, infinite objects, right? Like you can have millions and billions of Vidhan in the world in the coming future, right? So that is the object, right? Objects are nothing. These are just the, you can say that, uh, post cursor or the cursor of the class, or you say that from a single class, which is human, you can create millions and billions of Vidhan or objects. So class is just a template, right? Another example is your houses, right? Okay, so when you say you have a plot, right, and you have a land, you have a plot, and you want to build a house there, right? Okay, now this particular plot has a size, say 50 into 30, that is in feet, right? That's an ideal plot size that we get, right? We used to get, right? Now it has changed. So this is the size of the plot. Now, first thing, when you want to create your house or when you want to build a house, what you want to do is you want to create a blueprint, right? You'll go to an engineer, a civil engineer, or the civil engineer is going to create a blueprint for you that, okay, on this 30 by 50 plot, say you want to have a 3 BHK house, 3 BHK duplex. So you'll go to engineer is going to design that blueprint, and engineer is going to hand over that blueprint to you. right? And then this blueprint, you're going to give it to your architect and your contractor, and then your architect and contractor will start building on it. Your architect will define, okay, architect won't do anything with the blueprint, it will do with the interiors and all, right? Okay, so this blueprint is going to be used to create this 50 by 30 house on this 50 by 30 plot. Now, with the help of this blueprint, guys, I can create millions and billions of houses, no matter in which part of the world I am. Do you understand this? Do you understand this, guys? With the help of this particular blueprint of a single house, I can pass it on to you, I can pass it on to my friend, I can pass it on to any unknown person in the world, and he'll simply read this blueprint. And with the help of this blueprint, if that person has land, he can or she can create his or her own house, right? Similarly, your class is also a blueprint, and the houses that you create is basically objects. Okay, so these are your object. The houses that you create are basically your object. Now, all the houses, guys, every house, in fact, humans are also class, and you, me, we are the objects, right? Okay, now every human, see, we are playing with two examples at the same time, human and the house blueprint. Let's come back to the human one. So every human, all of us have certain things that are common, that we can walk, right? These things are common, right, guys? And what are those things? uh, we have certain functionalities which are common. We can walk, we can talk, we can run, right? So these functionalities, walking, talking, running, bickering, right? These are associated with humans, right? So these are basically functionalities, or these are your, no, they, not everyone has the oops concept. That's why I'm telling all these things. Okay, that's why I'm diving into this, right? Because not everyone has the oops concept. Okay, so a lot of us among the learners does not have actually the prior knowledge of programming language also, right? So this walk, talk, run, these are the functionalities, or these are the actions that a human can take, and these are common, right? So these are what we call methods, right? Why methods? Because this is associated with human as a class. Similarly, coming back to what we are doing, class was your string, right? Object with the help of the string class was s12, and the methods were your index. Your index was the method, and apart from that, count was the method, which was only associated with string. For example, walk, run, talk is only associated with human, right? So object in this case is say Vidhan, right? So if you want to make Vidhan walk, right, these are the methods. So if you want to make Vidhan walk, you'll have to, programmatically, you have to do like this, Vidhan dot walk. If you want to make Vidhan talk, you'll have to do Vidhan dot talk. Okay, so this is how you play with methods, right? So methods are associated, or methods are the action taking. See, some action is happening, right? Walking is an action, talking is an action, running is an action. So method is what make objects and class work, right? Show its features, right? Okay, so similarly here also, if you want your object to index something, you'll call it like this. Okay, so these are your methods. Okay, so how do you call a method? With the help of the object of the class. So s12 is an object which belongs to data type string, right? And that data type is also the class, so string is also a class. Right, so that's how you can, I can create s1, s2, s3, s12, s infinite. right? Because these are all the objects which belongs to a class which is string. Similar to humans, which is a class, and I can create. We have already created 8 billion humans, right? You can create more, right? So this is how you associate your uh, basically your string, your index, or your sorry, your integer, all those things with the class. Okay, understood? Any doubt here, guys, in this particular concept of class, object, and method? See, I had to touch this at at any of this stage in this tutorial, this learning path. So I've introduced it here only. Now, the reason I've introduced here is because you have to call these methods. Okay, so these methods are associated with strings. So how are you going to call this? You'll have to create an object of the string, and via that object you can call these methods. Okay, so you'll have s2 dot, you write, see, the first method is capitalize. I write cap. uh, see, there is an option of showing the hint. So when you start writing ca, then hit a tab button, so press the tab button, it will give you a hint. Simply write capitalize. So what it's going to do is going to convert the first character of the string into a capital one, uppercase. Okay, try it out. So these are the methods. So I want you to try out all these methods. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this so that you can try it. All of them, guys. Right? Some of them are methods. Some of them are your functions. Okay. Count is something that you have seen. Find, try it out. Try all of them, guys. Okay, count, find, try it out, guys. Let me know if you face any issue. It's easy, right? Okay, take it as a homework, try it out, and we can discuss this tomorrow. Okay, now moving on to the next part. Next part that we do. Okay, let's start with the data structure. That will be better. Okay, now guys, so we have seen data types, right? Okay, now we have tackled data types individually. Yes, Steve, try it out, right, later on. So let me give you an introduction of data structure, and then tomorrow we can start with the first data structure, right? And at that time, guys, I will discuss these methods if you have tried it or not, right? So please do a bit of the homework, right? Because we are going to close the session at 10, so you can try it out in 1 hour, right? You have ample of time. Okay. So I'll suggest you that after session is over, you straight away you can try it, right? So basically, we have tackled all these data types individually, whether it is integer, whether it is the booleans, whether it is the floats, complex number, or the last one, the string. Right. So all these data types, we have tackled them individually. Right. And one thing that you now understand this, that here is your variable, and on the right you have data type, right? Right, you understand this? So basically, you have a assignment operator equal to, on the left is your variable, and on the right is your data type. Right? This is what we have been doing till now. Now, there are certain conditions which require us to group these data types, right? There are conditions which require us to handle these data types together, or we want to club these data types into a single structure, or we want to have them in a packet which we can analyze further, right? Okay, so grouping these data types together into a format, into a structure, is what we call data structure. Okay, you call it data structure or collections. Okay, collection is another term that we use for data structure. See, it's up to you. So a lot of people call them different ways. A lot of people differentiate them on the basis of, they call them data types, data structure. They differentiate them on the basis of immutable, mutable, right? We'll see that too, right? Just a way of seeing at these things, right? They all are the same actually. So collection is basically because you are collecting all these data types into a single structure. That is why we call them collection. So data structure is nothing. You are structuring data in a particular format. You're taking all the data together and you're structuring it, right? Now the first data structure that you have is what we call list. Let me jot down all of them. You have list, tuple, you have set, and you have dictionary, right? So these are the four data types that you see normally. Okay, that means that I can group all my data types into these four formats. Okay, we'll start with the list. One is your list. So list, you can say that is a collection of different data types. And how do you represent this? Let's say L1 equals to square bracket element 1 comma element 2 comma element 3, and so on. Now these element can be your integer, can be your float, can be your string, can be your boolean, can be your complex. It does not matter, right? All these elements are separated by a comma. That is how you get a complete collection. And all these comma separated elements, when they are put inside the square bracket, then they are called list. Simple. Yes, Neeraj. Kindly unmute yourself.
So my question is, you have written like element one, element two, and element three, and
Yeah.
it's a collection of different data types. So can we put multiple different data types, like integer, float, in a simple in a single variable, like L1? Like element one will be integer, element two will be float, these kind
Yeah.
of arrangement.
Yes, element will be different data types actually. So I can, okay, let me show you. Let me create one of the string.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
guys, you can try it out. Uh, try doing this. Create a list which contains all the five, uh, basically all the five data types. Kuntal, A, you are putting it as what? A is what? See, Dave, long is there in Python, right? Yes, you have long. Okay, let's say, for example, I can have x equals to this. I can convert it into, sorry. Just a sec. Just give me a sec here. Um, See, we don't have concept of long, but yes, we do have long in Python. Basically, your integer is quite a big number. You can say that, right? We don't require anything else. Okay. Um, okay, I'm missing something here. Mm-mm-mm. Let me create an octal. Say that. No, it's not converting it to long. Yes, but we do have a concept of long, but not of long. Long has a very good precision. I think in Python 3, long has been discontinued. You have only integer. In Python 2, you have the concept of long, right? Okay, I think in Python 3, they have discontinued long. So you can check in Python 2 actually. Let me check if I have Python 2. No, I don't have Python 2 here, but I'll show you. Okay, so in Python 3, they have increased the size of integer that it covers long also. So yeah, okay. In Python 3, you don't have long. In Python 2, you have the long. How big is the value represented in Python? Okay, can anybody tell me how big is the value that you can represent in Python? Okay, mm, mm, mm. Okay, let me show you. Import sys. Dot max. See this, Dave. See, it depends on your bit size. It depends on basically on the bit size and the is it a Python 2, Python 3, and what version of Python you're using. It depends on that also, basically. And of course, processing capability. And bit size basically is your processing capability, right? Calculation capability. So, yeah. Okay. Uh, oh, welcome. Uh, okay, guys. Ignore this for now, right? I'll show you these things when we'll be working with the modules, right? So import SYS is one of the modules that I'll be showing you, right? Because it's an important module. OS, sys, and other important modules. So let's say that I want to create a list. Right? First of all, this is how you want to create the list. Square bracket open and close. So I'm going to introduce integer, float, string, complex, and boolean. Final type of L1 is going to show you as list. Okay, so this is a list which contains all the elements. Okay, this is how you create a list. Okay, let me go through your queries, if any. Uh, yes, Kuntal, the reason that you're getting an error on string because you have not created a string. You have simply, string is when you put that character, word, number inside a quotation, double quotes or single quotes. Then it becomes a string. Okay, otherwise it does not. That is a basic requirement of a string. Okay, guys. So this is your list, guys. Now, a list is the most powerful and the most versatile data structure that you have in Python. You can actually do anything and everything with a list. Like, it's highly useful and it's used a lot, especially when you talk about data science. Right? We talk about analytics. We use lists a lot. So list is, you can say that is the lifeline of Python. Right? Okay. So we'll continue from here in the next lecture, guys. If you have any queries, you can ask me. Right? Because there's some server maintenance activity which is going to be started at around I think in 5 minutes max. Right? So we have 5 minutes. Yes, it is case sensitive. So how to find the word irrespective of case sensation, like find July. Okay, say you have a string, right? And you want to find out, you have all these words inside the string, right? You can use a membership operator, right? We have seen in, right? Sorry, S1, right? We have seen, say for example, is Vidhan in S1. Of course, I'm not. Then another is not in, right? Is Vidhan not in S1? Yes, it is not in. Now, what you can do is, Sagar, you can basically, you can iterate through this, right? Again, you'll have to find another way of doing this. See, methods or functions have their limitations, that they can do this much task, they can do that much task, right? But they cannot do, or they cannot do it when the things becomes complex. And what you're saying is that July is J capital or U capital or L capital or Y capital, all these scenarios. For that, of course, you'll have to create a function. Basically, you have to code it in a way that where you are looping through all the possibilities, and then you're removing or taking out all the possible outcomes. Right. So that is something that methods won't be able to handle. Right. Methods or function. You can create your own function. Right. That is something that we'll be doing. Okay. The method won't be helpful in that. Damish, let me go through your query. S1, S2, S3, S4. No, you're doing something wrong here. Okay, let me copy and paste this. Okay, this is what you're doing, right? First of all, don't name it like this. Okay, it's giving me the list. You can print it. Okay, so guys, that will be all for today. Tomorrow also we'll have a 2-hour session. It's a 2-day maintenance activity. Okay, and please try all the methods that I've shared with you in the chat box. I think I've shared those methods in the chat box. Right? Let me check. All these capitalize and everything. Yeah, kindly try them out. Anyways, Signing off now. Have a good day. Bye bye.